happened in the 90s.
Little Richard is back with his biggest hit.
McDonald's service cheeseburgers are just 88 with the deal is good. Don't be late. McDonald's service cheeseburgers are just 88, only 88 cents. They taste so great.
Roll into Mickey D's for 88-cent double cheeseburgers. And for breakfast, sausage McMuffin with egg sandwiches are also 88 cents each.
When McDonald's service cheeseburgers are just 88, now it's time for me to say, have you had your break today? Woo!
We're just coming in so hot, Steve.
So hot.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I thought Captain Lou Albano. The last thing I thought was that he was Italian. I just thought he got a lucky break getting the job of Super Mario.
Man, Captain Lou looks the part. He definitely looks the part. Mario never had rubber bands in his goatee, but he definitely should have.
Yeah, that's like later on, like when him and Peach are like about to get divorced. He's just sort of has some like PTSD from killing all those like mushroom things and those Goombas, and he's just having a hard time. So he looks like Captain Lou.
He's in and out of child support court for his little toadstools.
Yeah, it's like I feel like Captain Lou's like the same. He's on the same wavelength as like the dude. It's just some guy that lives in an apartment by himself. Yelling at shit, drinking a little too much. He's unkempt. I mean, I don't think did Captain Lou Albano ever have like a stylist? I hope not. Fire that.
There's no need. I mean, he had his own drip though. I can appreciate it. Like the Hawaiian shirts, the rubber bands in the beard. He had the curly hair, sometimes in a ponytail.
It's like
nobody looked
right
like
out
him.
of a halfway house style. Like you're getting back on your feet, but it's really early in the goings.
It's very dude, like you said. It's very Lebowski. I can appreciate it. R.I.P. man.
R.I.P. to Captain Lou Albano. Yeah, I mean, he was Super Mario. I used to watch that shit.
I think Luigi. He tried to talk him out of it.
Yeah, but you know what? It is what it is. I don't think Super Mario, the Captain Lou Albano show, gets enough credit. Do people even know about it at this point?
I know it was on Netflix for a while, man, and that was the part of our afternoon entertainment. After school would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then Super Mario Brothers. I believe there was a Zelda cartoon at the same time.
There was something because it was like they do a live segment with Captain Lou and like a set, and then it would go to the Super Mario Brothers cartoon. And yeah, I guess there was maybe there was a Zelda cartoon. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was something else there, but yeah, I used to watch that shit all the time. Shout out Captain Lou and shout out to like the guy they got to play Luigi that nobody remembers. He's just ass out.
I kind of remember him. His name was Danny Wells, and he was a career character actor, originally from Montreal, Quebec.
Oh,
and
wow.
I remember, he had a recurring role on the Jeffersons back in the day. He played Charlie the bartender. That's where I remember him from. And he was on Sanford and Son for a handful of episodes. But yeah, he did a lot of stuff in the 70s. But like I said, he was a character actor, maybe recurring at best.
He was like an uptight actor that was like really into the crafts, and he was just the second banana to Captain Lou Albano. He's like, this son of a bitch never even studied at the Juilliard like I did. This piece of shit.
Yeah.
I was on Sanford and Son. This is a fucking shambles.
I did Shakespeare on Broadway.
This man has a rubber band in his beard. What did that come off of his fucking when he was doing heroin? I don't know. What's going on here?
I was in 3 episodes of Small Wonder. And this is what you give me?
I want some goddamn respect. Like Captain Lou, I'm gonna need to talk to you. Yeah, exactly. He's one of those dudes. Shout out to the Super Mario Brothers show that had nothing to like Why they made that, I have no idea, but you know, they had to, I guess. Nintendo was just wilding at that point.
The culture needed it. It was very necessary.
I like how they were just trying what I like. Remember the Mario Brothers movie with Blake Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins?
I remember hearing of it. I know of it. I'd never seen it.
And Dennis Hopper as Bowser. Dennis Hopper, the Hopster, dude. It was fucking.
How did we get there?
Yeah, Lake Leguizamo was a Ouija. I mean, I guess Spanish, Italian, I don't know. Whatever.
He's got black hair.
Yeah, he was on at the time. Yeah, and then they had that Double Dragons movie too. That was a piece of shit. I think we even talked about that back in the day, Steve. We're vets now. We've been doing this a little while. We can just call back to some old episodes.
Yeah. Well, how much does it take to get into syndication? About 100 episodes?
Give us a fucking deal, somebody.
You hear that, Spotify?
Talking about this shit.
You hear that, Sirius Radio?
Yeah.
XFM, wherever, fuck, motherfucker.
Also in 90s news, Jonny Depp got his money, dude. He's gonna get paid. He's back. He's back. Savage, it's all coming back, Steve. Fuck it.
Yeah, hopefully he can stop doing movies and just live off that. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm not a Jonny Depp guy.
I think he's gonna make a resurgence, Steve. He's coming back hard. He's coming back. Tom Cruise is getting all this money right now for Maverick, which I haven't seen and I won't see. But Jonny Depp, he's coming for that head, Steve. I'm telling you. He's gotten this money. He's got that Hulk Hogan bread now. I think he's going to get some more money, and then he's just going to live like Hunter S. Thompson, just be drinking purple and fucking taking grumpies all over the place, dude.
He looks like Brooke Hogan. Like
it's looking wild, but
he's back. He has a man bun.
21 Jump Street now. Shit's gotten real.
Like 75 Jump Street.
Yeah. I'm getting too old for this shit. Why are we still trying to impersonate high school kids? I don't know.
Looks like a nightmare on Jump Street.
Nightmare on Jump Street? I think we just figured out the next fucking thing, Steve. This is a movie waiting to happen. I would watch that.
Yeah.
And crossover because Jonny Depp, I think, was in one of the first Nightmare on Elm Street. So boom. It's just like this. It's a 4D chess that we're playing here.
Yeah. It's not doing anything else good.
Steve's coming hot for Johnny. Johnny, you listening? Pick it up because Steve's not impressed. Tatal.
I used to be, but I'm not anymore. You just I don't care. Stop teaming up with Tim Burton. That was the thing that worked for y'all, and then it's not so much anymore. It's just not.
I'm kind of with you. You kind of like talked me out of saying I'm a huge fan of Jonny Depp for his relationship with Hunter S. Thompson and being in Fear and Loathing. But other than that, after our discussion, I don't know, Steve. Maybe I'm not a Jonny Depp fan.
You got to reconsider some things. I mean, Black Mass wasn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, I remember saying that, and he's had a couple other things, but I was never like a Pirates fan. Just it's nice to see people getting paid, but other than that, like,
yeah.
But it's a victory for the '90s, really, Steve, and that's just why I wanted to bring it up. But you had to take a fat ass shit on Jonny Depp, and here we are. So.
I don't know what to tell you. I feel shitty sometimes. Shitty like Jonny Depp movies. Shitty.
You didn't like that movie where he became like a computer program and almost killed the Earth? I forget what that was called, but saw
Rear
that
Window.
on a plane. He has like a lot of movies now that are like watch it on a plane movies. Because
they put you to sleep.
It's just like it's the cheapest A-list movie that they can get. It's like this will put exactly. It'll put people to sleep. We won't have to duct tape them to the seat if they're watching this Jonny Depp movie about whatever the fuck. Man,
I know it's eating Gilbert Grape. These horrible Jonny Depp movies.
Here we are, folks. Happened in the 90s, staunchly against Jonny Depp. So here we are, Steve.
Hey, kids.
Matilda is now available on videotape. You know what that means?
No more Miss Nice Girl. You dig this.
She's a girl with the power to make anything possible.
This movie's got action.
Wow.
Triumph. And food. It has food. It has everything except kissing. There's no kissing.
Matilda from Columbia TriStar Home Video.
It's huge.
On sale now.
So, hey, boys and girls, get out your fucking shit. I don't know.
No, that's the one we're rolling with, dude. That's it. Get out your fucking shit.
Get out your fucking shit.
Because it's the 90s, bitch, and this is what happened in it.
Bitch tits.
Take it or leave it, you fucks.
Oh, fucking moo the cow, you fuck. Hey, boys and girls, this is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about things that happened in the 90s. So get out your Tommy Hilfiger and your favorite Nautica shirts when we reminisce over you, my God.
Now that's 90s. That's done by Capella, Steve G. We need to put an album out, Steve. You got this nice new mic. We got to fucking use those pipes.
Oh, in due time, my friend, in due time. Ho, ho, ho. The hamster's running on its wheel.
Nice. Okay. Sure. The chicken is in the coop.
Mm-hmm. The hand is in the bloody glove.
No. No!
Today, my friends, we are talking about all things June 9th in the 90s. Starting off with 1991, Beach Brawl is airing on pay-per-view. Brought to you by UWF, Herb Abrams UWF from the Manatee Civic Center in Palmetto, Florida. It's very dark in there.
It is dark, Steve. You can't even see the front row. So I don't know that anybody was actually there. So
I don't know if that was intentional. I'm pretty sure it was, because the capacity is a lot more than 550. They say 550 people were in attendance. And that's basically our graduating class and some change.
Yeah, that's like, inside of a big Olive Garden, basically. I didn't see 550 people in the clips that I saw. It looked like
you couldn't see 20 people.
Maybe there was the camera crew. Did they count the camera crew? Because that's probably a big percentage.
And the wrestlers and Herb Abrams. This was Herb Abrams' attempt to compete with Vince, and that's very laughable. Vince was so far advanced in the 80s. This was done in 1991, and pick a pay-per-view, take the first SummerSlam in 88, and it's light years above Beach Brawl 91.
Beach Brawl 91 looked like, it was like a public access wrestling show, if that. Like, I've seen better backyard brawl, like, wrestling videos than this shit.
I've competed and performed in better backyard brawls in Devin's backyard because he had a big house in the suburbs.
The tag team Luna Vachon was with, I think, just seemed to have like a black sock on their face. Like that's the level that they had a singlet and a black sock on their face. Luna looked like she was fresh off at a shift at a Shoney's and threw on like her fuck me clothes and like walked in and started, "You hear me? Yeah, I hate you." And apparently Lou Albano went off. I missed that.
Yeah, he just couldn't have it. He was supposed to be interviewing them, and he just told them how much he hated them. He hated Luna. He hated their outfits, and then he just dropped the mic, and they just left him kind of like, "What about the interview?" Just drop the mic and walk back.
Lou, what the fuck? Yeah, I gotta go film Mario. See ya, you chumps. Fuck this, Luna. I'll see you later over at the Dollar Motel next door. At the Manatee Civic Center in Palmetto, Florida. What shithole place was this at?
And The Blackhearts.
I think they paid all their money to Bam Bam Bigelow, Steve, because that was the only at least had brought his outfit. Thankfully.
I mean, yeah, Bam Bam Bigelow, and like he shot a shitty promo. He just looked confused, kind of pauses in between sentences, just like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I win the belt. And it's like, y'all need to do retakes.
Yeah, you guys needed to put something down on a piece, at least practice a little bit.
We're live, pal.
Yeah. But you told me a very interesting fact about how, obviously it didn't go very well after this event. And the guy who was promoting this probably went through some things. But eventually, Steve, how'd this guy die?
Well, yeah, they did a whole Dark Side of the Ring on Herb Abrams and the UWF. And it's St. Vincent Hospital in Manhattan. He died of a heart attack while in police custody. Before his death, police found Abrams in his Manhattan office naked and covered in baby oil, destroying furniture with a baseball bat. His autopsy showed he had cocaine and Valium in his system. And
that's that party, Steve. That little cocaine and baby oil. That's how you really like get it in the pores. It's not enough to snort it. You have to have that shit smeared on your body.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure horrors were around. He said they said that his last days he lived in paranoia because he was so high on cocaine. He owed various people money and insisted on destroying furniture to find non-existent bugging devices he believed were secretly recording him. And I mean, as you can see from this pay-per-view, I could see why he owed a lot of people money, because he definitely didn't get his return on his investment, man. And his final shot with this corporation was in 1994. He did a Blackjack Brawl, and it was just as shitty. It wasn't a pay-per-view, but it was on TV, and I'm guessing not many people watched that. But
what channel was it on? Fucking PBS.
Your local Fox affiliate. But what was also funny, amongst other things, is in the end credits, they said that he had him staying at the Ramada Hotel. And I don't think the Ramada Hotel is like the ritziest of hotels. It's no Omni or W. And the catering was done by Domino's.
I mean, fuck it, Steve. Nice little Domino's, fuck it. Domino's, a little fuck cess with Luna Vachon at the Ramada.
Yeah, dude. He actually got sued by Vince.
For what?
He got sued by Vince because like he was tampering with his employee. Like, so he basically had Honky Tonk Man, and there was another guy who was still on contract. And Ravishing Regroup. They made appearances on Herb Abrams' card at one point, and they were still under contract with Vince, despite the fact they weren't being used at the time. And Honky Tonk Man even said that the check that he got from Herb Abrams bounced.
Look, man, I can't come to the next event until you pay me that $50 you said. Will you take a food stamp, Honky Tonk Man?
And I wish I knew about this, man. Beach Brawl collection set. You can get the whole collection. Whole collection for
oh my god, 120, but that's like too much now.
That's $119 too much.
Yeah, they were trying to charge that 91. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's about the price of a Sega Genesis.
I was about to say I could buy fucking 3 games for that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
The
Coked
best,
up Charlie.
You got 6 tapes worth of best stuff footage out of this shit.
Come on, you don't want to see Angel Levine and Rockin' Robin?
I'll tell you what, though, Rockin' Robin, that was one of the matches I stopped on. Rockin' Robin's stacked, Steve. She's just stacked up. I mean, they definitely knew how to do the angles on the women matches, but I mean, I stopped when I saw Bam Bam Bigelow. I saw all the Bam Bam Bigelow hits. Is when he does like the fat, just like splash against the guy in the corner and stuff. He had the outfit. But other than that, it looked like a lot of generic ass shit going on in a really underlit what I thought was just maybe like a warehouse at like a empty, like some abandoned warehouse someplace.
At a Quiznos warehouse, and like everything about it's generic. The fucking look at the art, man. It looks like a coloring book.
It's just a bunch of clip art.
And the belt. I told you about the
yeah.
belt. Oh my God. Look at this shit. Look at this Lucha Libre gas station bullshit.
That guy
like
is,
he got
that guy is coked out of it.
Sweating bullets, mind you.
He's looking up at the stars right now, Steve. He's trying to see like his ancestors through the coke haze. He looks like Ben Roethlisberger if he really put on some weight, dude. Herb Abrams here. I am coked out of my guard. Whoa.
Mr. Electricity.
Mr. Electricity.
I am high on cocaine.
I will fight you. I will kill you.
We're gonna get kicked out.
That is amazing. So maybe it was all worth it, Steve. I don't know. Maybe they knew what we know. Like it was actually just funny because it's such a shit show, and that's, you know, you could get 6 hours worth of material out of this.
Did you miss the Power Twins versus Mass Confusion? Whoa.
I couldn't stop too much on this. Like I said, when I saw Luna Vachon, I was like, wait, because she doesn't look as crazy as when she was in WWF. She doesn't have like the side shave and like the veins and shit. She just looks like, you know, like a really aggressive, like divorcee that's just out, just pissed off, you know. Maybe she's gotten into a couple brawls and there's some rips and shit in her clothing, and she, you know, she's just fired up. So
aggressively looking for rebound dick.
I'm gonna fuck you. Oh God. God, would you throw it down with Luna Vachon, Steve?
This one I would.
Not even, but not like vintage, like 94 Luna with the leathers and the half shaved head and shit.
No, not half bald head hoe shit. No,
I feel like that would just be. It's just more of like an endurance test, you know. You're just like a survival thing. Like, can I make it through this? Whereas, like I said, if she throws a fuck at you after Beach Brawl 91, it's just like, you know, you're fucking your friend's mom or some shit.
Like it's like a fear factor test or some shit.
Yeah. How long can you last putting your penis inside of this monstrosity?
Yeah, man. But, you know, shout out to Herb Abrams, man. He died doing the things he loved: cocaine and whores. Bankhead bounce. Now, 1992, June 9th, Pete Rock and CL Smooth released the album Mecca and the Soul Brother. And this is mostly famous for the track When They Reminisce Over You, My God. It's comparable to Gangstar from this era, man. I mean, it's the same setup. You had a MC and a DJ / producer, Pete Rock being one of the ultimate hip hop producers of the 90s of all time, man. He didn't just work with CL Smooth. He did stuff for Nas. He worked with Jay-Z. He's worked with the greats, man. He's just like DJ Premier or the RZA, you know, upper echelon, the Pharrells, the Timbalands. Pete Rock is up there, man. And this album, really the whole album is great. It got a lot of acclaim from the critics, but it's mostly known for that track. That's like their breakout song.
Pete Rock sounds super familiar, but no, I'm not familiar with this shit.
Yeah, you're familiar with some of his stuff. You've heard his beats with other artists, man. But you know, I'm sure you've heard of that song, When They Reminisce Over You.
I mean, that sounds so. I guarantee you, I've heard that, but I'm not. I wasn't like deep into this shit. But shout out.
Yeah, he's got a real jazzy feel, man. But 1983, the Stanley Cup Final was the Montreal Forum, Montreal, Quebec. Montreal Canadiens beat the LA Kings 4-1 for a 4-1 series win. The Canadiens have their 24th Stanley Cup championship.
I mean, it's like at that point it was like cheating, kind of like they, you know, it's like you're going up against Canadians and from deep Montreal. That's like the heartland of hockey, other than Russia, basically. So,
and get this, man, this was the last time an all North American team won the Stanley Cup.
really,
Yeah.
they beat
And
a Wayne Gretzky led Kings, correct?
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky, Luc Robitaille, and Jari Kurri. But the Canadians team had Patrick Roy, who is considered the Michael Jordan of goaltenders, man. And I don't even watch hockey in any capacity, but like Patrick Roy is that big of a name in the game.
Sports Center legend. I know him too, but I think he also played on the Avalanche, if I'm not mistaken.
Later in the 90s, yeah.
And we all watched Sports Center, and you had to endure some hockey footage, to get to whatever the good shit was anyway. So we all saw Patrick Waugh from what I saw, the guy was a fucking beast. So shout out to a goaltender in hockey, something I maybe watched 10 minutes of in total on television or on Sports Center in my life. So,
and he was actually the MVP of the Stanley Cup.
A goalie. That's fucking crazy. How many goalies have been MVPs? That's where's our statistician at, Steve? Stat boy.
Can we get a stat girl?
Maybe we can get both. You know what I'm saying?
The more the better. 2 heads better than 1.
Yep. That's what they say. That's what she said.
Hey-yo. But that following year, Wigstock the movie premiered in theaters. No.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm scared. Wingstop. I didn't even look. This isn't Wingstop, the restaurant that sells wings. This is Wigstop.
Wigstock. And it's a documentary / concert film covering the annual drag festival in New York City. Highlights include a performance by drag queen RuPaul and the infamous Lip Synca. She can't be that infamous because I've never heard of Lip Synca.
I've heard of RuPaul.
Never heard of this movie though.
You watch this shit. Steve, you're a drag queen.
I am.
You a drag queen, honey.
Work. Yes, bitch.
Do it, bitch. Dude, you just Cinderella. I don't know, dude. I've seen Pharrell wear some shit like that. You're pulling it off. So I'm not even calling you a drag queen. That's just the fashion right there.
On the next Vogue, I can see it.
Work. Turn to the left. Work.
Yes, bitch.
Hey, dude. Put some lipstick on, Steve. You might be on RuPaul's Drag Race, just fucking making that money.
Okay. Stop.
Okay.
So that was the thing in 94. In 1995, no, slow down. On that same day, Lisa Left Eye Lopez of TLC, in a domestic dispute with partner Andre Rison, sets fire to his shoes. And the fire ultimately spreads to the mansion they share and destroys it.
Yeah, that's not great. This was a thing. But then I feel like she just kind of overcame this. Like this happened, and then it was just kind of a thing that happened. People were like, this crazy bitch. But she can sing. She's killing it.
And then Waterfalls came out, and he continued playing and got traded to the Packers. And I don't know.
God, Andre, what happened there? I just wonder what the argument was about. You just had to set fire to his shoes.
Dude, he was a star wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, man. And I can only imagine, like, this is around the time of Freaknik, and there was a lot of freaks in Atlanta in the 90s, and he's the wide receiver of the Atlanta Falcons. They were popping. They had Deion Sanders for a minute, and I'm sure he had just his fair share of bitches, man. And on top of that, they said that they were pretty combative, gotten some altercations. So,
well, then you're down a mansion, but it's hard to feel bad for that. And I'm sure that they resolved it, obviously. And like you said, she went on to do some waterfall shit. That they had that album, Rest in Peace, Left Eye. I forget how that happened, but
she veered off, man. She like was driving and just went into a ditch.
it's crazy. But yeah, I do remember this. It was just wild because it happened, and it's like really she committed arson basically. But then it was just like, yeah, you know, it's just crazy. She's crazy. It was they got into a thing, but whatever, you know, fuck it.
She's the wild card. I mean, crazy, sexy, cool, right?
She shout out, and she was hot, dude. She's the hot. Well, was she the hottest, Steve, of TLC?
Chili. I was a chili guy. Always and
I
forever.
could see that. I could definitely see that. 90s con Chili and what's her face were there. That was crazy.
T-Boz.
Yeah.
Does T-Boz still have the mushroom haircut? Kind of.
Nah. I think she had like long hair, like pulled back a little bit, but she was wilding out. She was funny.
Nice.
Chili was still looking fine. Chili's just like, she was just hot. She was just like a dime piece that they were like, she's not going to say a lot. She just, you know, she's going to smile at you and make you feel good.
Yeah. Maybe touch it, I hope. In that following year, 1995, Congo premiered in theaters. When an expedition to the African Congo ends in disaster, a new team is assembled to find out what went wrong. Starring Laura Linney, Tim Curry, Dylan Walsh, and Ernie Hudson. Who are you going to call?
Based off a Michael Crichton novel, I believe, the author of the books that Jurassic Park were based off of. I remember, I think there was like white apes in this. Like super intelligent apes, if I'm not
They were
mistaken.
gray.
Gray? Okay.
Yeah.
So there we go. I
And,
don't remember
Ernie-
this movie being bad though. This came out and there was like a movie called there was something similar to this. Like, well, not
Outbreak?
maybe, yeah. It was just like a jungle movie, but I remember they came out around the same time, and it was just like I think they meshed into one. This I didn't really get into. Outbreak I liked more, but I don't remember hating this.
Yeah, I remember it being decent. And Ernie Hudson says this is actually his favorite role. It's like, really, Ernie? Better than Ghostbusters?
Damn. I mean, he didn't say his most you know, well-paying role. I mean, this motherfucker still cashing checks off Go. He was in the new Ghostbusters recently. I don't remember him being in it, but hey, he got paid. He looks cool in this shit. I was gonna say, I just remember like lasers and like maybe like a volcano going off in the midst of like evil apes fighting this super intelligent ape that the good guys have. I don't know. This was a 90s shit show, probably.
And do you know that Frank Welker voiced the sounds of the gorillas?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't. Well, congratulations. Is that gorilla drinking a martini, Steve?
I believe so.
What was this movie about? I like this now. Now I'm into it. Now I'm kind of rethinking what I was saying before. Maybe I'm gonna check this out.
This is when they have their downtime, having a me day.
I'd love a banana right now, but this'll do. This'll do. And it looks like he's on a private jet or some shit too. So what the fuck? Maybe was this movie just about like hyper intelligent apes just living that lifestyle, Steve? And we're just mistaken?
Hey, those monkeys were live in 95.
Damn. Fucking shaken, not stirred.
But on that same day, Party Girl premiered in theaters. A 20-something irresponsible party girl is bailed out of jail by her librarian godmother. To repay the loan, she starts working at the library and gradually turns her life around. Starring Parker Posey and Liev Schreiber. And the guy from The Sopranos, his name is John Bentigliano something. But if you've seen Sopranos, you know who I'm talking about.
I don't remember this.
I don't remember it either, but apparently it's a cult classic because Parker Posey says that librarians from time to time come up to her and tell her like how thankful they are for this movie. You know, I guess it speaks to a lot of librarians and the like.
It's a weird like community to want to speak to. Librarians. This movie touched me. I'm a librarian. I'd be like, oh, get away from me.
Maybe librarians who like to do cocaine, because it is called Party Girl. And it's also known for its influence on 90s style and fashion. I guess the character that Parker Posey played, it's kind of iconic, some of the things she wore and her style of dress. So
shout out Parker Posey.
Parker full of Posey.
Why do I know that name?
She was in Scream, and ironically, Liev Schreiber co-starred. It was in Scream 3. They were in together. She was in a lot of other like independent flicks. I believe Suburbia.
And then
with one of my favorite names.
I'll see once I see her face, I'll know who it is. But I don't remember this. I don't remember a movie about librarians. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't a huge hit, but I guess there's a lot of librarians out there, Steve. So
there are. My grandmother was a librarian.
Pulled their heads out of the fucking Dewey Decimal System and watched whatever the fuck this was. And it looks very 90s just from the cover. It's got a lot of like shapes, colorful shapes. She's wearing a rainbow on her shirt.
Yeah.
She's killing it.
Punky.
Doesn't have a monkey drinking a martini in it though. So
no. But on that same day, Smoke premiered in theaters. A Brooklyn smoke shop is the center of the neighborhood activity and the stories of its customers, starring William Hurt, Harvey Keitel, Stockard Channing, and Zigzag Forrest Whitaker.
This doesn't sound familiar either, but sounds like it's got a shit ton of stars in it. So Smoke, Steve?
Yeah, and Stockard Channing actually won an award for Best Actress. It wasn't the Academy, but it's one of those other
Screen
movie
Actors
festivals
Guild or some shit.
One of those other ones, yeah. I remember this being played in a rerun or whatever on USA back when I had access to cable. They would air that from time to time, and I would always catch it like in the middle. And it was like, man, this movie is boring. But as I read up on it, it's actually gotten high praise, man.
I mean, it sounds interesting. It sounds like it's probably like a lot of like different vignettes or some shit with a lot of like stars. I mean, I love me some Keitel, so I'll check it out.
Very Tarantino-like in the storytelling.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that shit, but you know, Keitel, he had this weird. That's a guy that's had a weird career. Is he still acting?
I don't know if he's still acting. He's still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you say he's had a weird career?
I just think like the shit that I remember him being. It's not like he's had a weird career. He's been a great actor his whole career and been in a lot of cool shit. But like he's just done a lot of crazy fucking movies. Like he was in a movie called Bad Lieutenant back in the day, where he played like a crooked cop. But there's like and he's like a drug addict, and he's just always like taking money from the scene of crimes and shit, like, you know, shaking people down. But there's a scene in the movie where I watched this with Jordan. We were just laughing our ass off because it's just so bizarre. He's in the midst of like a heroin blackout, and he's just done all this crazy shit. And he's just in a church, butt naked, looking at like a crucifix in the front of the church, like, fuck you, God. And he's just butt ass naked. It's crazy, dude. And then he's played, he's been like the Wolf. He's been in a lot of iconic shit, but he's just always played like a wild fucking dude. He was a pimp and Taxi Driver.
I remember that.
That's why he looked crazy in that. So shout out Harvey Keitel. I'm sure the movie's dope.
Mr. Beige, or was he Mr. Brown? No, Mr. Brown was
I think
Steve.
He was Mr. White.
Mr. White, yeah, he was.
I don't know. I haven't seen fucking Reservoir Dogs in forever. I need to watch that shit again.
Please like, share, and subscribe for other ways on how to spread boogers on crackers.
Cause I said so, cause you're a fucking pussy.
In 1997, on June 9th, Daria is airing the episode Pinch Sitter. Desperate to avoid a meeting with the family therapist, Daria gets stuck babysitting 2 children for Quinn. Did you ever babysit?
Yeah. It was never bad because it was like always kids, like, we had these 2, like a family named whatever, Nate and Tim. There's like little kids that live near me. I'm not gonna say their last name, but
yeah, all
we did was play like Super Nintendo and shit. And I was probably like fucking 13, so it was like a quick $20-$30, very cheap. I realized looking back, I never charged enough for any of the shit. I used to like mow people's lawns and get like $5. It's like, god damn.
Yeah.
Give my fat ass like at least a 20. I'm buying a lot of pops and shit.
Yeah. I remember watching my little cousins and sometimes my little brother later in life. I didn't get paid, you know, it's just all because, you know, family loves each other. But it was more or less not as much babysitting as much as it was wrestling moves practice.
Oh yeah, I did that too. Fuck yeah. That and then it was like I'd put him to bed and get to watch because I, for some reason, and this will be kind of covered in this episode, you know, like my parents weren't like super strict. I wouldn't say like I mean I was a sheltered kid in some ways, but you know, there were some things that they wouldn't let me watch. And one thing, I think just because they saw it in a bad moment, was Howard Stern on E. Because I don't know if you remember, he used to just play his show on E, and it was like the video of it. And sometimes he had like a busty chick. He'd be throwing like baloney on a stripper's ass or some shit. I wasn't allowed to watch that, but when I babysat, they had that Buckeye cable shit that had like A and B. So I got to watch fucking Howard Stern after I put the kids to bed. And they also had Spice Channel. So I used to just maybe pop that on every once in a while too. So, you know, that's a little juicy like side hustle that I had. That was nice.
It tells you that those parents were freaks.
Oh yeah. You know, but hey, thankfully I got to reap those benefits, but I didn't have to deal with any like fucked up kids or anything. Like it was just like playing with mini versions of my, you know, just like playing fucking Mortal Kombat and shit.
And we start off in Lawndale High School, and they're in class with Mr. I don't know what his name is. He's very high strung, 7-day bender guy. Followers obediently drank poisonous brew, and he's basically talking about the Jim Jones massacre. And what can we learn from this herd-like behavior, Kevin? BYOB.
Which is true. I mean,
yeah, you got a point.
Straight up.
Yeah. Bring your own Kool-Aid.
He asked the cheerleader, what's her name, Brittany, what she learned from or like what's another group that uses cult-like behavior that you know of, and she says, oddly enough, something sort of intelligent, that cheerleading is weirdly like a cult. And he even points out that's strangely intelligent for somebody like you. But you know, Brittany, I think what does Daria or Jane say there? She's like, she's not in any danger of getting brainwashed. This bitch is dumb as fucking mayonnaise. So
yeah, gotta have a brain first.
But yeah, so they're chilling. Quinn's actually just trying to just use her tits and ass to get somebody to do a babysitting job for her so she can go on a date with some rich guy. I think his name's Skylar. It's some very white, some real super like Yale white, you know.
Very Hunter Hearst.
Was I right? Was it Skylar?
It's Skylar Feldman.
God, stop it, Skylar.
And she's trying to talk some guy into babysitting for her. And he realizes that, like, bitch, you're just using me. Like, if I go out, like, we can't go out. If I babysit, we can't go out. I was like, yeah, that's the plan. I think you're really nice and sincere. Oh, you're never going to go out.
Yeah, this guy is this is the most smart person possibly in the world, honestly, Steve. I wish I had the power this guy had to just be like, oh, wait, you're using me.
Just haven't been rejected enough yet at that point.
Yeah, it'll happen. But I mean, I guess this guy, even in high school, is like, yeah, I'm good. He doesn't do it, Steve. He doesn't fall into that trap.
I don't care how nice your tits look inside that shirt.
You never moved a bed or something for somebody, Steve? You never, you know.
Oh, I mean, I've sent before, but you live and you learn, Matt. You live and you learn. Daria basically comes in with her buddy Jane and says, Skylar was looking for you this morning. And she's asking like, why? What did he want? I don't even know what he wanted.
I know, but Quinn's just worried that Skylar now knows that Daria is related to her, because she's still like worried about that for some reason. Apparently, just people aren't aware of that, and that would be crushing. So, luckily, Daria said something pithy to Skylar that I'm sure went over his head. And Quinn is just again trying to just pawn off, babysitting so that she can go get dicked down by Skylar. We haven't met Skylar, but he's got a boat.
He's got a boat.
And she's got to get on that boat. So Daria and Jane go and watch that show Sick Sad World. That is probably the best thing about this show. They always reference it in every Daria episode. And on the episode that they're showing on this episode, it's about G-string grandmas, Steven. I'm in. A couple of gilfs in some G-strings. I'm into that.
Century sex, if you will.
Fuck yeah, Steve. You're into it. Go out, just hit up a couple of grannies. Back in the day, Steve, when I was in Orlando, I used to go to a bar that was right in front of me. And this is very non-mad, but I was in Florida and just miserable. And I almost hooked up with a granny, Steve. It almost had. I almost made it. It just. I think I wasn't drunk enough at the time. I was drunk, but it just she was late 50s, Steve. I don't know if she was a granny yet, but I think she was. I think I remember saying that. And I just, grandmas and G-strings, they'll sneak up on you. Just a word to the wise.
She's in the granny range, that's for sure.
Yeah, 55-ish, you'll get lassoed in. She'll start throwing that AARP money around, buying you drinks, and then all of a sudden you're in some fucking Orlando, Florida trailer about to just make a big mistake. You know what I'm saying?
You're a nice young man, strapping young man. You use that terminology a lot.
You remind me of my sweet old Harold. No.
You remind me of Timmy from Lassie.
She just had Florida tits, just a lot of real dark tan, freckles and shit. It's pre-cancer shit going on the tits.
Oh, Cabana boy.
Oh, excuse me.
Were you Cabana boy, Matt?
I was a Cabana boy, Steve. That was right when I had lost all the weight, so I was just right and tight, just open to a lot of just new things, if you will.
Just being a strapping young man.
Yeah.
I do declare.
How much time do we have?
Enough time to 69.
Oh, just like Don Knotts.
Oh, hello, Mayberry.
Let me see your spladoinkle. So yeah, she tries to pawn off the babysitting to Daria, and she's like, I don't even like kids. I didn't even like kids when I was a kid. I can relate to that, Daria. Fuck kids. She says, if I'd be babysitting for you, I'd be doing you a favor, and I just can't allow that. And their mom comes down, and I guess Daria was supposed to be a part of this relationship therapy or this couple therapy, or at least oversee it. And she was like, you know what? I'll actually do some babysitting.
Yeah, she gets out of that. Her mom and dad have some weird couples night. So she's like, you know what? Even watching some fucked up kids is better than that. So she takes the job for Quinn. Quinn can go out with Skylar. So she's got to watch these Gupta kids. And another weird thing that happens, I think it happens now, is Quinn is always, she has 8 guys and she's juggling. And her mom sees this and she's like, you're unorganized. You need to fucking shape up. So she takes her to this fucking, seems like a very, this is in Lawndale. It's right outside LA. So it's a very LA job. It's an organizational expert. This woman has trapper keepers and organizers, and she's teaching her mom how to organize her life, asking her what her priorities are. And then she starts pawning this off on Quinn, who is very uninterested in being organized until she understands that she can get a bedazzled trapper keeper or some shit. And Quinn becomes this organizational whiz kid who's now evaluating boys and, organizing dates and weeks in advance and shit. And it's very annoying. And it's very, I wish I could get a job, one of these bullshit jobs where you just advise rich people on how to live a normal life. Be
Yeah,
great.
she's got her getting her hoe chart ready, her spreadsheets.
I'd love to see the calculations. Like, what are the ratings? Like, what's the rating system? We don't get it can't be that advanced because we're dealing with Quinn here, but I just love to see the charts. And she'll go out and just start filling shit out like a fucking psycho in front of a dude. That's some crazy shit. That'd be a great Tinder date. That'd be stressful. Like, what are you writing there?
Yeah, bitch, why are you writing?
Are you writing everything I say? Fuck.
And so they're at this therapy or whatever. This plan, was it event organizer, bitch? And the mom says she wants to spend more time with her family, break through the firm glass ceiling, beat the pants off Carol Lee Fishbeck in the library board election, and spice up her marriage, and window treatments for the living room. Now, Quinn is just concerned with dating, shopping, bouncy hair, and school.
Yeah, and that's, I'm surprised she even got school in there at all. I think it's all dick and, nice things.
Bouncy hair.
She gets a nice little bedazzled trapper keeper. It's all she can be pretty and organized now, Steve. This
comes with lipstick.
Yeah, I mean, this is some wild, like, fucking Mad Men shit. It's like, give me a drink, bitch. She's gonna be a great one of those. Just sort of like Florida trash.
And Daria is on her way to the babysit, and like she says goodbye to her dad, and he says this couple's therapy night, they're a bunch of wimps, always so freaking sensitive. And it's kind of a funny foreshadowing from what he just said. And she approaches the house and she has flashbacks of the hard time she gave babysitters as a kid with her and Quinn. The dynamic that they have now, they've always had.
Very hatred filled, and it's very one side. I mean, Daria doesn't look great in these flashbacks. She seems like kind of a cunt.
Yeah.
Excuse my French, Steve. She's like they keep showing her progressively older, but she's always like, pinning something on Quinn or mentally torturing Quinn. I'm surprised Quinn is this well adjusted, honestly. This is like some fucking psychological shit. But she gets to their name is the Guptas, I think, or Guptas.
Gupties.
Gupties. And their yard looks like they bought everything at a Big Lots and just put it out there. It's got a lot of decorations, a lot of cheesy shit, a lot of lawn gnomes. If it was Christmas time, I'm sure there'd be like an inflatable Santa or some shit.
Ceramic ducks and shit.
Yeah, it's it looks very much like some 50s housewife shit. And then she goes inside and it's the same thing. These people are very like what I was questioning the whole time is like, are these people Mormons? They come out very they're very quaint, they're very organized. Maybe they went to this bitch that does the organizing too, because they got a schedule. They got a bunch of instructions and shit. And that's the one thing when I did babysit I hated, because I did have to deal with that. It's like a list of shit. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna. You don't have to plan out every 30 minutes.
I thought I was just here to make sure they don't die.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm here to make sure that they're in bed before you walk in the door. It's not going to be at 9 o'clock because I'm going to let them stay up because I'm cool. But they'll be in bed and they're not going to be dead. So that's the agreement you get. And then you walk away with like maybe $20. Or in my case, like $5.
Blowhards. Yeah. At least you got paid.
Yeah. But these parents are psychos. They're very much like that, but it's very intense. And the kids, you're looking at them the whole time. It's like Children of the Corn shit. Like they're about to make Daria's head explode mentally. I don't know. They look weird.
They are weird. I mean, the parents assigned for them to have discuss current events. And there's also a vocabulary word of the day, which is indemnification.
Yeah. I don't know, Steve. What does that mean?
I have no fucking clue, man.
Is that like a rash? But no, and they've psychotically, they have like a record player playing a fucking fucked up record of just some like weird kid music from the 40s or some shit. It's like something that would be playing in like a Freddy Krueger nightmare scene. But they're singing along even with the record skips. It's very fucking, again, Children of the Corn. It's very weird. But Daria's handling all this like a champ. I mean, these kids are just basically trained animals. You know, they're just very well trained animals. They're very they don't break the rules. When you break the rules, they're not into it. Actually, they're gonna admonish you because you're trying to break them out of some weird, what I think is a Mormon routine. Steve,
these are Art Samos kids because they get turned on by watching the Forecast channel. That's the only channel that's available. They just rattling off different weather reports and shit.
Yeah,
and
when it's like a one day, they just have like a weather forecast for the day, and when the 5 day comes on, they're like, "Oh my god, the 5 days on!" It's like, Jesus Christ!
And
there a gun in this fucking house.
For those of you who don't know, Art Samo was our weather class or our weather teacher in Bowling Green, and I think me and Matt hated that class.
Oh my god, dude! It just was one of the, it was just a disappointment because it was when you sign up for a class that's called weather, you're expecting a gimme. It's a fucking free throw, Steve. If that, it's just a
layup.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't that. This man was a psychotic freak of a professor that, you know, I wasn't trying at all. I mean, I think we can both agree that, yeah, we could have probably tried harder, but it's weather, bud.
Dude, I tried hard. I dropped out before it was too late. So I was like,
I think I did too. I think I did.
But I came back because it was like I had to, and I tried my damnedest, man. And that class was still fucking hard. And he would go on to be known as the weather Nazi, Art Samo.
Yeah, I remember that. He was claiming that when we took the fucking class.
Yes.
He was saying that. I was like, Jesus, dude, lean into it a little more. Fuck.
And he wore it.
I just thought I was going to have to tell you what snow is or some shit. I don't know. It's weather. How complicated could it be? FYI, very complicated, especially if you're stoned and you're trying to come in 3 weeks later than you should to try to pass a class. Now that I think about it, Steve, I don't think I got out. I think I had to I think I failed the class.
Y'all got stuck in there.
I think we did. I think I remember that. We got bullied into staying in the fucking class, I think, because he's like, nah, you guys haven't been showing. He like strong-armed us, and we were like, but. And so we just had to take that L, I guess. He just, I mean, he was a Nazi, Steve. He's very intimidating.
And they don't even like TV, really. They said too much TV is bad for you. It'll turn you into a zombie. And Daria says, oh, that'll make the three of us.
And then...
and then... Yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry about that.
We're having the date now with Skylar and Quinn, and he's like, plenty of guys want to be with you. Plenty of girls want to be with me. So I think we should be together.
Yeah, it's like very much like this is Hollywood, Steve. This is a power couple conversation. And Quinn, though, she's filling out that eval sheet. And he's like, what are you doing? She straight up tells this guy to his face, I'm filling out an evaluation sheet on the date. And he's like, well, how do I stack up? And luckily for Skylar, he's like 4 points ahead, I think. But unfortunately, Quinn is so advanced at the scheduling at this point that not only is she scheduled a date with Skylar, but she has a bunch of other dates that she's not willing to cancel. And also on the schedule, weeks in advance is her breaking up with Skylar in time to date another guy who has like a ski chalet or something. So this bitch is playing like 5D chess.
Yeah.
You know.
And back at the house, the kid says raisins are nature's candy. They're just not into sugar. They're not into TV. They're not into anything kids usually enjoy. I don't even remember seeing toys in this fucking place. It was just like books all through their room.
I never knew kids like this. I knew weird kids that had like weird restrictions, but when you got them outside of like their home, that would stop. You know, they'd want to watch crazy shit just like everybody else. But
do some bald head hoe shit.
But yeah, but this is like these kids are brainwashed. So luckily, you know, Daria, she had a class about fucking cults and shit. So she's coming in here fucking hot with some fucking pithy, gothy chick knowledge. and she's going to start turning these kids' life around with some well placed jabs at them. And she starts teaching them these weird life lessons after Jane comes in, because I mean, basically Daria's in hell. She can't watch anything. She's hanging out with these two weird fucking Mormon kids that just, you know, they're fucking up the vibe basically. Jane finally gets there. You know, I mean, I gotta say also, Jane, you're fucking up. You should have been there. You knew what was going on. She's a little late.
She's waiting on a ride.
Daria even goes to the lengths of letting the chick braid her hair. So when she comes to the door to get like Jane in, she looks like Pippi Longstockings. And Jane tries to fucking even embarrass her with Trent. Yeah, there you are. She looks like fucking Sarah Plainenthal, which is basically what these kids are living like. They're like Amish kids or some shit.
They read them fucked up versions of children's stories. Old Mother Hubbard tracked down the loser and made him pay child support. The little engine decided he wasn't the competitive type. The dish ran away with the spoon, but Hawaii was the only state that would recognize it as legal. And somehow, some way, the boy realizes that Tom Cruise is 5'4". I mean, I can always appreciate a Tom Cruise jab.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to she basically educates these kids and breaks the spell a little bit. Jane gets they put the kids to bed. Jane gets past the parental controls on the TV. I don't know how. I guess by like Fonzieing the shit or something, but she gets she gets sick at World playing, and it starts playing, and then the kids come down and they're like, wait, do you want to watch this? And like, fuck yeah, we want to watch this shit. So they start like ingesting whatever the fuck is on the TV.
Some mud wrestling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But mud wrestling though, what a weird thing. What a weird fucking like that. What, pudding wrestling? Like anything that's done at a strip club, like a Jello wrestling situation. Where did that come from, Steve?
Like, want to watch bitches get dirty?
Hungry perverts, or I don't get it. I mean, you know, but I guess these kids, they're loving it. Daria, Jane, they basically, you know, plant the seed. They get these kids really nice and lathered up, so when their mom and dad come home, God knows what's gonna happen. But they just treat these kids to some mud wrestling, which they haven't gotten to watch. It's been 5-day forecast for about 10 years.
And back to the date, Skylar finds out that, you know, he's not going to be there for the long haul because Quinn plans on breaking up with him in September. And then by October, she's going to be dating Taylor. Oh, and actually, she's going to be dating Eric on Wednesday, who is Skylar's best friend.
It's fucked up. This chick's fucking crazy, but apparently this is 90s hot, Steve.
And she is for the streets, my friend.
For the streets. How dare you? That's Quinn you're talking about, Steve. It's Lawndale's finest.
And we find out that the Guptys were actually at Daria's house for couples therapy. And it was Daria's dad who did the crying, being sensitive and whatnot.
I think it was an orgy, Steve, honestly. I think once Daria canceled, it turned into, that's what happened. That's my fan fiction.
Daria's dad is probably a cuck.
Oh yeah, definitely. His wife's like crazy. She's like, her plans are like world domination shit.
She wanted to spice up her marriage too.
Little peg situation.
Kelly Bundy peggings. Nice. And Daria, she said her paper was excellent. The teacher said her paper was excellent for the what was it, the herding or the culting.
Yeah, she basically her paper was about de-brainwashing these kids. And the guy with hemorrhoids that teaches her class and is always in agony is super into it. And then I think at the end of the episode, we cut back to the Gupty's house, and the kids are still singing to that weird record skip shit, but they've changed the words, Steve. And I don't remember what they were, but I remember the parents just weren't very happy about it. And I don't think Quinn's going to be asked to do any more babysitting jobs, Steve. I think Daria might have fucked up a money opportunity for her. So shout out to Daria for that as well. Good job.
Yeah. I mean, she's too busy getting booked and slutted out.
To be honest with you, though, it seems like what Quinn was doing was just using these kids for grooming, because all this girl wanted to do was brush her hair, and I think the fucking boy shined her shoes and shit.
Yeah.
What is going on? She just had like, shine boy, come here, shine boy. What the fuck?
Bouncy hair, I told you.
Oh, well, that's what happens, Steve. That's what I guess I'd let the kids play Mortal Kombat. She's getting fucking the shoe shine. Shoe shine? Fuck needs that.
I could use a spit shine.
There are a lot of questions in life, but here's the biggie. How do you act responsibly on the outside and still have fun on the inside? You got it. Doublemint. Because when you put that legendary one-of-a-kind taste in your face, you feel good. Really, really good. So while outside you're all business, inside you're doing the Watusi. And nobody has to know. Nobody. So double your fun with Doublemint Gum. In this adult world, it's the fun part.
But on that same day, Married with Children is airing the episode Chicago Shoe Exchange. Al and Griff turn the shoe store into a barter shop after Gary leaves so they can get massage chairs.
Yeah, mind blowing that Gary's shoes and accessories. Something by a woman's name named Gary. I didn't get Miss. Was it Miss Gary? Just Gary?
Just Gary.
Gary. I mean, but there, Al is not. I don't know how this woman has survived with this business this long, being run by Al and what's the black dude's name? Grizz or Gary or
Griff.
something? Griff. These guys are not trying to sell these shoes, Steve. In fact, they're basically tormenting the chicks out of the fucking store.
I mean, that's been the whole existence of Al Bundy throughout this show, man. He cared less about selling shoes and just, basically talking shit. Kind of like with this first chick in the opening scene. Al was helping a fat lady put on shoes per usual. And,
fat lady, dude.
Hey, man, call it like you see it. A spade is a spade. And, she can't make a decision. You'll see this pile of shoes right next to where she's sitting. And, she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I can't make a decision. I'm going to leave. And Griff, he comes out with more shoes. He's like, we have more shoes for our delightful customer. And I was like, oh, she's gone. Oh, picky bitch.
Yeah, damn. I was like, damn. Yeah, right, too. He didn't even he put some sauce on it. And then
I liked Griff.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck. Griff was in a lot of shit. That motherfucker was in a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that became, if it wasn't Jefferson, it was Griff. That became like another one of his main cohorts.
Hell yeah. And then Gary comes in, and Gary thinks she's been called a picky bitch. And I think he even calls her a picky bitch. Or, he calls Al a picky bitch. He's like, no, I was talking about Al, picky bitch.
Picky bitch.
It just rolls off the tongue. Picky bitch. I'm just gonna start selling that out, Steve, at Walmart.
Yeah, or a bunch of picky bitches.
But I mean, the fucking amount of shoes on the floor was crazy. I mean, what the fuck do you want this man to do? Go in the back and look for your fucking self at this point. There was like 15 dozen shoes out there, Steve.
You tried just about every possible pair. And Gary is there to tell them that, she needs these shoes for poor Filipino orphans. I don't know how this plays into helping Filipino orphans. These are grown women's shoes.
Stilettos, Steve. I mean,
stilettos.
This is some slut shoes and some like business attire things, but they need to clean the store out so that not only can she give these like shitty shoes away, she's gonna go ahead and restock. Because I mean, these are some busted ass shoes, Steve. This isn't a foot action.
This is Payless.
Yeah, this is. I mean, we're going even deeper than that, Steve. This is like some fucking shit this is like a 99-cent store rack. One of those,
And then we cut back to the house and, we see Peg who gets a pop, and there's Lucky. I forgot about Lucky. And when you think about the Bundy dog, you don't think about no fucking Lucky. You think about Buck. Yeah. Buck is the dog that you think of. I mean, he was the one that from the beginning, from day one. And he was replaced, the real Buck dog, he died about halfway through the series, and he was replaced by this little puss ass Lucky. The fuck out of here, Lucky. But Peg gets a pop, And then we go to Bud, who's on the phone. He gets a pop. You know, we've seen these people for 11 seasons. I mean, they're all stars at this point. And Kelly, she comes into the house. Kelly been getting a pop from season 1.
She could still get a pop.
You still get a pop.
She was getting pop. So,
but she also got her masseuse license, and she calls Bud the master of self massage. I found that one nice.
Yeah. Well, and also Bud throws it back at her, and he's like, "Finally, you can get paid to rub men," and it just you become, you know, you can get paid for it. So, she starts throwing the moves on Bud that she's learned in this class, and she took like a karate class by mistake, because she bends him like 3 times, and basically, I mean, he's paralyzed. He's paralyzed.
Yeah.
Jefferson comes in. He's fucking a massage parlor expert. He's been to the deepest and darkest, and he's learned a couple of things. So he starts throwing a couple of his moves on, which thankfully are not those moves. You know, it's the pre. It's before they get the real action going on. That Deshaun Watson, you know.
Oh God. Then back at the mall, Al and Griff are at the store. It's some like random Radio Shack like store. They just got all these different things. And Al comes across the Swedish Ecstasy 5000.
What a great name. What a great name, dude.
And the salesman says it's as good as sex. And Al says it's much better. And he's feeling the Swedish Ecstasy 5000. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. And he wants to know what he has to do to get this Swedish Ecstasy 5000. It's $3,000. And Griff says for $3,000, we can have sex with actual Swedish girls.
Yeah, and he's right. I mean, this is the 90s, Steve. You might have some change left.
For real.
Go out and get a steak or some shit. But Al's like, how much would that be in shoes?
We're in the barter system.
Yeah.
You're in luck today.
He pulls a Dwight Schrute out of his ass, and he's like, okay, so how many shoes you want for this fucking chair? And the guy's like, you know what? I don't like shoes. I don't need shoes. I need fucking, if you want to put $3,000 in a shoe and give it to me, I'll take that. But barring that, you know, I do need some new golf clubs. So if you can hook that up, maybe we'll talk. So this starts a fucking just landslide of bartering that you got to Al has to barter with the guy with the golf clubs. And that guy luckily is super into stilettos in a weird way. Steve.
Very weird way. Yeah. He goes
the other thing that the guy wanted. He wanted a bunch of size 12 stilettos in a bra, if I'm not mistaken.
A push-up bra. You know, 50 pairs of stilettos, size 12. At first, I was like, man, these some big-footed heifers. But then as he's on the rowing machine, he like looks at Al. And he's like,
don't judge me.
Yeah. And then when he asked for the push-up bra, Griff's like, yeah, maybe we will do a little judging.
Yeah. Crazy motherfucker. But they got to get that Swedish ecstasy. See, I can't even say that without laughing. Swedish ecstasy. 5,000. Yeah, my bad.
And back at the house, Bud can't feel his toes now. So she whacks him on the head with the hammer, Kelly does. I mean, his head ain't fucking numb.
I think she sticks him with a bunch of fucking like an arrow and shit. Like this motherfucker's paralyzed.
Yeah,
how'd you do this?
But now Jefferson, this is when he walks in and he gets a pop. You know, we've seen him for the last couple seasons. We know Jefferson. He's the guy from fucking Revenge of the Nerds. And now they decide to put Bud on the table, only for Peg to sit down on the couch. Jefferson twists his neck, and now he can't move his arm.
They are like, this guy's a quadriplegic, Steve. He's going to be in the Stephen Hawking seat. He's done. He's gonna be blowing through a straw. All because Kelly, where'd you take this class at, bitch? The MMA gym? What the fuck's going on here? So then they fucking, do we go to when they like put him in the car from this, or do we go back to the mall?
We go back to the mall because now the shoe store is a flea market, and there's nothing in this store.
I don't get why this happened, Steve. It's very simple. I thought Give the guy all the stilettos and the bra. You got the golf clubs. You got the Swedish ecstasy. Job done.
Oh, it was more than that, my friend. To get the chair, they had to get the golf clubs. To get the golf clubs, they had to get that push-up bra. To get the push-up bra, they had to get them the kayak and the apology for the detour through the fitting room. Now they need to get the driving lawnmower to the Gap and Mr. Zippy the chimp to Hickory Farms.
Yeah, they get a chimp, Steve. Where the fuck? Like, where'd that come in?
Where do they sell them at malls?
That was like a Coke deal that they had to do. They had to like broker a Coke deal with some crazy like Filipino guy. And he's like, you have to take the chimp too. We're like, all right, whatever. We got to get that fucking Swedish ecstasy.
Maybe Woolworth. Did you have a Woolworth at your malls growing up?
No, we had like Dillard's. That was like the fanciest shit. That was at Franklin Park. You remember Franklin Park, Steve?
I do, but Woolworth wasn't really fancy. It was like a Walgreens within a store, but they sold pets. They had like fish and they had birds. This is at the Sandusky Mall back in the 80s and 90s.
Oh wow.
And they went under. And
I mean, in the 90s, you could get crazy shit though. I'm sure you could get a chimp to, it was just like you could buy a chimp, Steve. I probably could get a chimp guy if I went back into the 90s pretty quick.
Michael Jackson can get one. Why not?
I mean, just, get one that smokes a cigarette, just chills, it'll be cool until he rips your face off.
Know how to wash some dishes. That would be good.
That would be
I hate washing dishes.
Yeah.
Now, and I guess for Al and Griff, they've forgotten that Gary is going to need those shoes, the shoes that they just gave away to the rest of them all. The shoes are at Hallmark now.
Well, like, okay, if she was just going to give them away charity, that's a scumbag move, but it's not really that big of a deal. But what happens is Gary fucking like smokes something is like, these are retro. We're going to fucking rebrand this as retro shoes. And we're going to sell those busted ass shoes that you guys are just, putting away for me. We're going to put them back on the shelves. So cool. Just put them back on the shelves, which it's like, they don't even got fucking shelves, Steve. Yeah. They bartered those fucking things to some guy for God knows what, a summer sausage for the fucking guy at the Orange Julius. I don't know. It's fucking like
pantyhose to the beef bowl.
How many transactions did they have to just for how good was that chair? What was going on?
It makes you come.
I mean, it has the word ecstasy and then 5,000. So I hope so. Yeah. For God, for $3,000, it better make me come. Even in money now, I better come.
Out my ears.
Can you fuck it?
There's a secret seat for that. And now they're trying to put Bud into the car, and he's just like Weekend at Bernie's, bored.
I mean, they're just beating the shit out of this guy. I don't even get the logic. They put him in the car. They're like, okay, let's just jack him in the they're just hitting him like a fucking punching bag, basically. They're hoping something's gonna crack into place.
They just decide to stuff him in the trunk.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a murder. Like if you just opened the garage and saw what was going on, I'd be like, what? Okay, I'm calling the cops. You guys are trying to kill this guy. And it sounds like it too. He's wailing in agony this whole time.
I gotta say too, man, this is one of my favorite comedy formulas, man. Like in this scene where they're in the garage and Bud like falls out of the car or off the car in the garage, and it's so obvious that it's not, but it's a mannequin. I love when they like, and the more obvious it is, the more funny it is. Like SNL's done this timeless amount of times, and all that. I believe Kel Mitchell, like he was up in a tree or something like that, and it kept repeating. And they just did this take of Kel Mitchell just falling, but it was so obvious. It was a dummy doll. Man, we have to implement that in either a promo or show or something. I love it.
Just tossing a dummy out the window or some shit. It was always, I think they use that shit in everything, but yeah, I do love that.
Like a kid. It's like I'm a kid all over again. This shit never gets old. Like I knew, like it's not a person, and they know that it's not. And like because the legs are so like wobbly and shit, and the head is like fucking
Just a
like there's
piece
no
of
way
wood with jeans on it. It's like that ain't
with a wig on.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Bundy's, for giving us this piece of candy. Oh, thank you.
But Bud's he's in bad shape, and now it's getting to the point where it's like, I would say go to the hospital, but nah, nah.
Yeah.
And so now Al and Griff have to go back to the guy that they got Swedish ecstasy from because they've gotten the chair. They have nothing now. They've gotten the chair. They've done all the transactions. Everything worked out, but now they need to get all these shoes back. And it's like, well, fuck. So they start giving everything back. But the guy that gave them Swedish ecstasy, which this is a chair, guys. I'm not talking about a drug. He doesn't want to give back these golf clubs, Steve. It's taken 8 strokes off his game.
Yeah.
And fuck a chair, fuck whatever problems you got. I got to get out here and get to that driving range with these fucking clubs. So fuck your life.
I don't even like you, Al Bundy. Like, we're not friends.
Yeah.
Like,
so eat a dick and be about your business. And they're like, well, fuck. We're not going to be able to sell shoes anymore. I mean, you guys could have just taken the L, I think, but they're panicking, Steve.
But now at this point, Peg, Bud, Jefferson, and Kelly, they make it to the store at this little flea market Radio Shack store. And they decide to put Bud in the tanning bed. And they put him in there and everybody's conversing, talking about what's going on. And they forget that he's in there. He's sizzling.
He's cooking, Steve. He's fucking. What is the setting that you put this shit on? What the fuck? I mean, he cooks faster than fucking an oven. Like, I don't know what this tanning bed was. Like, if it was powered by uranium, but he comes out looking like overcooked bacon. It's nasty, Steve. Bud Bundy, Steve.
Like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, dude. Definitely. He looks like that guy fucking dead in the fucking lobby. Yeah. Smoking. Just fucking smoking.
This isn't a slight at David Faustino, but man, in the earlier seasons, specifically in the early seasons, man, Ugly Jason, he kind of reminded me of him.
He's just a hanger on, Steve. Like, he's just like a born loser, you know?
Ugg Bundy.
Yeah, he's related in some way. But Bud's cooked. Al's comes back to the fucking store while Peg and Jefferson and Kelly and Bud, what's left of Bud at this point. I mean, he's just basically cooked meat. And they all converge. And then Al has just like a light bulb goes off and he's like, wait. So he puts Bud in the Swedish ecstasy. Bud's paralyzed. He's paralyzed. And he's like, we're going to say this fucking chair paralyzed this fucking kid. So they pull this grift. This is Al Bundy we're talking about, Steve. Motherfucker QB of the year in 19 whatever, but
4 touchdowns.
That's crazy. How many fucking athletes can even say that shit? So this dude, he's got that field vision and he pulls it off. Like, Bud's in this chair and like the proof's in the pudding. Look at the motherfucker. This chair did something to my son. I don't know what the chair did to make him look like that, but this crowd surrounds him and the guy's like, fine, get out of my store. Here's the clubs. Fuck my golf game and fuck you, Bundy. But Bundy wins, Steve. And somehow in maybe 20 minutes, they go through all the transactions and stock the store right in time for Gary to show up.
Everything's back. The shoes are back, the pantyhose, the shells.
This is Al Bundy we're talking about. This man can work miracles in whatever way possible. And actually, I just have to point back to Swedish Ecstasy 5000 because it had some healing properties. It actually was healing Bud's fucked up spine. So there might be something there too, Steve.
Yeah, his skin is still fried, but hey.
Cancer, he's going to get some melanomas or some sort of crazy mole at some point in his future. But
what does Donald Trump's wife have to do with this? Melanoma. So yeah, coming back to the store, Mr. Zippy chases Gary out. I guess Mr. Zippy is now an employee at Gary's shoe store. He's even taken a liking to Alan Griff. He's picking up some of the habits. And
I mean, I don't know. I don't trust it, but he looks good in that tie, Steve. I gotta say, I'd buy some shoes, just even out of fear. I'd be like, get that fucking thing away from me.
And they, if you watch the rerun on Hulu, you can hear the soundbite of Al saying, we'll be back with more. And I was like, okay, great. We're not going to end this 11-season series like this with a monkey in a shoe store dressed like Al Bundy. Like, of course not. So they do come back, and the way they do actually end, this is how they end.
Yeah, I was gonna say this was it. Did we say at the beginning of this that this was the finale of the series?
Because it wasn't. I mean, it's the last episode of Married with Children, but it wasn't like the planned finale. The show was canceled, and they aired this months later as a lost episode. The actual finale was May 5th, 1997, How to Marry a Moron. After Lonnie is released from jail, he proposes to Kelly. When Al realizes that Lonnie is the son of the Weenie Tots owner, he agrees. And with hours before Kelly's wedding, Al learns that Kelly's new beau is lusting for other women, and he is in a dilemma, but finally ends up breaking the wedding. So, yeah.
Well, the fact that you thought like this, you might see more when you watch this at the time. It's just crazy that this was the last episode of the show. I mean, it wasn't a bad episode, but it is crazy. It's just like Al and a monkey. Fuck it.
Yeah. And Amanda Bierce wasn't a part of it. I mean, it doesn't give it that final send off. I guess we had to watch How to Marry a Moron that happened on May 5th for the true send off for the Bundy family, man. I just hate when my favorite sitcoms get mishandled. Like, you put in this much time, make sure the final episode is the proper way to say goodbye to these characters.
Well, it sucks when you don't, like, sometimes shows I think end and it's just like not expected either, especially now. It's like something doesn't do well, they just fucking shit can it. I forget, there was a show that Will Forte did. It was called Last Man on Earth.
Last Man on Earth, yeah.
That shit was fire as fuck, and it was like they ended it on a straight up cliffhanger, and I was just like thirsting to watch that show. And then like a month after the season ended, it was like, it's done. Fuck it, So I don't necessarily think that's what happened here, but it's just weird that they had some lost episode and they were like, fuck it, put it on rando just after the real finale happened. Strange.
How dare they? Fucks, that's what they do with fucks. Now, any callbacks, honorable mentions, member berries?
Well, Steve, I kind of warned you about this, but I just want to let everybody, first of all, just show the audience. I go to thrift stores and stuff with my wife. Sometimes I'll just be 90s shit. I'll be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll waste $5 or whatever. This I wasted $2. But I bought something I owned at one point, a copy of the VHS of the movie Bulletproof, starring Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler, also starring James Caan as well, strangely. But I keep telling Steve to watch this movie. It's a fun movie. It's stupid. It's fun. It's an action movie. It's, just a buddy comedy. Adam Sandler at his finest. Damon Wayans just being a badass. And Steve just refuses to watch, just like the constant I feel disrespected almost. And,
I don't believe you. You need more people.
Well, I think, Steve, if you watch it, I just think the proof's of the pudding. You're going to enjoy it. Damon Wayans at one point, I mean, it's just a fun, I'm just going to ruin it. Just watch the movie. And to anybody out there that hasn't seen it, Bulletproof, starring Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler. Available anywhere, possibly.
I'll find a way, Matt. I'll find a way before our next show. And if this movie doesn't strike a match with me, I'm going to be looking at you just like Herb Abrams is looking at you.
It's got a great soundtrack, too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, TLC has one of the signature songs of Herb Abrams. Oh, you're not going to Herb Abrams me. You're not gonna fucking big dog me. You don't have enough coke and baby oil in the world to do what
I
this
don't.
man did. So
Because he had it all.
he used it all. There was actually a shortage of coke and baby oil, like directly after that day he overdosed in front of all those police. Like, Steve, I'm just gonna no disrespect to the man at all, but you tell me how he died, right? And I've never even seen the guy. And then you show me like the photo behind you. And when I see all of that and I sort of analyze it, I'm not surprised.
You can totally see how he died like that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if directly after that photo or video was taken, he died or put baby oil. Maybe it was like a time before, like the final time, but he probably did the exact same shit that the day he died. He looks like he's covered in baby oil and coke right now, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
mid promo. That's how they get. I mean, that might be the secret sauce, Steve. I mean,
Mr. Electricity.
That's Ben Roethlisberger's retirement ceremony, Steve.
Man, just like, why the colors in the UW?
I don't like that the belt's white and then he's got a white. I don't like the white suit. I mean, that's a bad look in and of itself, but the belt looks like some straight up like Thundercats shit. Looks like it's like a Special Olympics medal or some shit. I don't know.
Is that the Chevron logo underneath? What the fuck?
Yeah, I think he stole that from
like what? Like green, yellow, and purple. Like that
was like Liberace's fucking performance belt. He's like, yoink. It's gonna be the UWF belt.
Ball clamps. Fucking.
Is that a penis engraved? Dude, Herb was just on it, Steve. I mean, this guy was living at 10,000 miles per hour his whole life, making bad decisions one after the other. The suit, the belt. I wonder how much
10,000 watts.
You know how much coke that belt costs?
How much coke it costs? Jesus. This belt costs 5 kilos. It's very shoddy. Very shoddy.
How many gallons of fucking baby oil I could have bought for this belt, Steve? For fuck's sake. Get me back to that fucking Ramada Inn immediately.
Better have that Domino's hot. Fucking catering by Domino's.
Somebody get Luna Vachon in here to just straight up fist me before I throw this baby oil cocaine solution on my face.
I wouldn't be surprised if Domino's sued him. Like, dude, don't put our name on this shit.
We had a delivery boy traumatized when he delivered the pizza to this.
Like my dick and some baby oil.
And what he thought was semen, but turned out it was just Coke olive oil.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, my only callback, man, The Nanny had 2 episodes in 1999, Maternal Affairs and The Producers. And just like Married with Children, this was mishandled. They had the actual finale of this show before, I want to say a month or so prior, and they just aired these just as some gimmies. CBS.
Mr. Sheffield. But you know what's one crazy thing? The bitch, the bitch. The bitch. This was the chick that's the daughter in that, she's like the older daughter in The Nanny, is on that Worst Cooks in America show that I referenced a few episodes back. She turned out to be a straight lunatic. So, that's something nice to think about when you watch those Nanny episodes.
She likes the party.
She did. She zipped out now. She's got some like electrodes that aren't connecting in her brain. She's all over the place.
Like to get down? Booger sugar?
Remember in Addams Family 2 when the chick got fucking electrocuted?
Uncle Fester. Like she tried to.
Wife.
Yeah.
Remember what she looked like? That's kind of the vibe I get of that chick in real life. She's kind of acts like that. Like she's got some like zips that are happening in her brain that shouldn't be happening. Shit's not connected.
That was Joan Cusack that played that role, I think.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I need to go back, dude. I used to love me some Addams Family. I used to love those movies. I haven't seen that shit in forever. That happened in the 90s.
Raul Julia, some Christina Ricci, yeah.
And
Angelica
Bison.
Houston. No, we all over the place. This has been and while we're on that, dude, that fluke episode, man, that really should have been 20 minutes. That shit, like that episode was one of our longest in a while, man. Like we could have condensed fluke to damn 2 minutes, man. It's fucking suck it, blue. These dogs can eat a dick. The dogs were cute, but they can eat a dick. There's some punk ass pussy dogs. Fuck fluke. But anyways, please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and tell us where your mama lived, where she be at on Saturday evenings. Please also watch Over the Culture, Crushgasm, B3F Podcast, and Don't Worry, B Movie. This is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s. Pick it, bitch.